Hello students, welcome to Unit 1 Notes, Lesson 3. We are still reviewing our Algebra 1. In this one we'll be focusing on IXL A6, which is solving linear equations. So I know a lot of you are really good at this. So let's begin. So the first, we're going to want to remember PEMDAS. When we're solving, we're going to be working a little bit backwards from PEMDAS. So, solving an equation, we're going to probably add or subtract first, if that's easiest to do, multiply and divide, and then work to get things out of parentheses and exponents. All right, so remember PEMDAS, but we're working reversely. So here's a great example. Our first one, solving for v. Well, if I have 1 equals v minus 16, and I want to solve for v, the first thing I'm going to do is add 16 to both sides. So again, working with PEMDAS, let's just go back. You're working backwards, so adding or subtracting naturally comes first to us. So let's add 16 to both sides. Let me clean this up. Plus 16 plus 16. And we get 17 equals v. And that's it. So I'm going to throw a box around this. And we are done. Now if I want to check my work, all I'm going to do is substitute 17 in for v. 17 minus 16 is 1. So I am good with that answer. Next one, this one's a little bit tricky. We're going to add or subtract by combining our like terms, right? Because we want to clean up this if possible. If we had any lingering numbers without variables, we would move them to the other side. Part of it is getting variables on one side combined and then numbers on the other. So let's take a look. We're going to do 6y minus 3y, plus 6y equals 9. And I can combine all of these things together. So what is 6 plus 6 minus 3? Or let's do 6 minus 3 first, which is going to be 3y. I still have 6y left over. And then I'll combine these two, and I get 9y. And I could have done that all in one step. 6 and 6 is 12. 12 minus 3 is 9. So I have 9y equals 9. And the last step, I'm just going to divide both sides by 9. So I guess I'm going to get rid of this right here because I don't want you to think I divided them. So I'll use this to say I combined them. And then I'll use this symbol for this one to say I combine them. And now I'm doing division. So 9 divided by 9 is 1. So y equals 1. All right, I can check my work. 1 times anything is itself, so it's 6 minus 3 plus 6, and that is the number 9. All right, the next one, solve for g. I'm going to combine a lot of things. I'm going to do this all in one step, make it a little bit easier for me. I'm going to combine all of these into one item. So 3g plus 2g plus 3g plus 2g. We have 3 and 3 is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is 10g. And we're going to take away 6 equals 4. So really the only 4 things that combine are these 4 terms. The 6 cannot combine because it's just a number. And so now we are going to add 6 to both sides. and we have 10g equals 10. Then we're going to divide both sides by 10, and g is equal to 1. Again, we can always check our work by substituting 1 back in for wherever we see g. And we would get 2 expressions on each side that are equivalent. All right, next one. In this case, we have 2 options. We can either use the distributive property first, or we can divide both sides by -7 to get rid of that -7. I think the best thing for us right now would try the distributive property first. So I'm going to have 49c equals a negative times a negative is a positive. So we have 28c, because -7 times -4 is 28. And then a negative times a negative again is a positive. So 7 times 21 is 147. 7 times 20 is 140, and then we have another 7, which is our 147. All right, next step, take 28c away from both sides. So moving all my variables to one side and all my numbers to the other. So I get 21c equals 147. Now, if you need a calculator at this point, that's fine. So again, remember Desmos. 21c equals 147. So 147 divided by 21 is going to be 7. All right. So c is equivalent to 7. Again, we can check our work by substituting everything back in. So that is one method of solving it. The other method, and I'll put in a little bar here. We could have made it a little bit easier. Maybe a little bit easier, maybe not. Let me rewrite this as 49c equals -7 parenthesis -4c minus 21. All I'm doing is rewriting the same problem. And what I could have chosen to do is I could have chosen to divide both sides by -7. Because this is multiplication and 49 is divisible by 7, we would have ended up with -7c equals -4c minus 21. And that saves us a little bit of work from distributing. It is a little bit more difficult. We have to worry about our 7. Is 49 divisible by 7 or is it not? And then we got to make sure the negative comes along, because 49 divided by a -7 is a -7. -7 divided by -7 is 1, so there's just one of these, which is what's left over. So it involves, a higher skill, and so if you're comfortable with it, you can do that. If not, just do the other method. I just have to show you both of them, right? And so now from here, I'm going to add 4c. I'm going to add 4c, and what happens is I get -3c equals -21. And again, I do some division, and I'm going to get that c is equal to 7. So c is equal to 7 in both of these, obviously, because it's an equal sign. It's an equation. As long as I followed all the math rules correctly, I'm going to be okay with this. Either method. Again, I think the distributive property is easier in completing, but I think that dividing by that factor of 7 saves us a step or two. So it really is more about how comfortable you are with the algebra. Okay, let's see. What do we got? We got a couple more. So here is, oh, you know what? I probably did them a little bit out of order because I think that other one should have been here. Let's do, let's divide both sides of this by 4 and solve it the other way. So let's, or I guess I can distribute. I'll distribute. So we get 4q and 8. And then I'm going to just take 8 away from both sides, because 4 times q is 4q, and 4 times 2 is 8. So I get 12 equals 4q. And then I just divide both sides by 4. So 3 equals q. All right. And you can check your work. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 times 4 is 20. So it all works out. Again, if I divided both sides by 4, this 4 would have gone away, and I would have had 5 equals q plus 2. And I would have solved it from there. All right. Next one. Don't worry, it's a fraction. I know, it's okay. Don't worry about this fraction. Cover it up for a second. What we need to do is we need to move 16 over to the other side, and then we can fix the fraction. Okay? So I'm going to have k over 4 plus 16 equals 20. And the first thing I'm going to do is take away 16 from both sides. And that's going to leave me with k over 4 still. There's your fraction. And all I have left on this side is a 4. So if something is being divided by 4, the easiest way to fix it, I think, is to just multiply it by 4. Because they're inverses, right? Let's multiply this by 4 and multiply this side by 4. And what I get is I get 4 divided by 4, which goes away. So all I have left is k. And on this side, I have 16. That's the easiest way to remove a fraction. If you have 1/4 of something and you multiply it by 4, you are going to remove it. All right, because 4 divided by 4 is 1. Really, what I really have mathematically is 4k over 4 equals 16. And 4 divided by 4 is 1. So 1k equals 16. That's another way of looking at it. I'll leave that there too for you. Just so you can see the algebra that's really happening. Because the 4's don't really go away until they're reduced down to 1. And so we will leave this as 16. All right, one more. So this one, notice how everything is being divided by 3. So an easy way to fix this, it would make more sense to just get rid of the 3 right away. So again, if there's division involved, use some multiplication. Don't be afraid. If I multiply both sides by 3, this goes away, because think about it. I had c plus 6 over 3, and I'm multiplying both by 3. So both sides by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. That leaves me with c plus 6 equals 12. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. And so now I'm going to take away 6 and take away 6, and I get c equals 6. And if I want to check my work, I just substitute in 6. So 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 divided by 3 is definitely 4. So that was all the work I had to do. I think that's it. That's it for example. So Again, this is I forgot, it is a 6. So A6, and good luck.